Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 14 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy. What's the next step from here? Well, I was talking about refining, but we're going to need to do something with all this stone. Otherwise, it's just going to stop the fun real fast. So let's take care of that. And actually, a stone setup is kind of a beast in itself, because we're going to need to be able to handle a lot of stone. And how much stone do we need to handle? I did some math on that, and as it turns out, quite a bit. I believe, yeah, we are going to be handling 6 stone per second. And I've calculated that because we are going to have a total of 8 assembly machines. Or I should say 8 crushers. 3 crushers for stereotype, 8 for sapphirite, and then 1 for rubitite and 1 for bobmodium. So 8 crushers. And 8 crushers are going to be putting out 1 stone per second, but they're moving at a speed of 1.5, so that's going to be 12 stone per second crushed stone, and that 12 crushed stone becomes 6 regular stone. So that's how I came to know that. And further, each one of these ore sorting facilities puts out 0.75 crushed stone per second, because it's 1 per second for the recipe, but then it's only running at 0.75. And we're going to have a total of 8 of those machines as well. And that will produce 6 slag per second, but then 6 slag per second gets crushed into 12 crushed stone, which gets combined back into 6 stone. So that's a total of 12 crushed stone per second, in theory, at maximum, that we're going to have to be able to deal with. And that each stone furnace, they're pretty slow, but they produce stone, or they consume stone at the rate of 0.7 or 0.571 per second, which means we're going to need 21 furnaces, or let's just make it 22 to be even. So that's kind of the math that I did there to calculate that. And there's actually a couple of steps that go into this. First, we need to figure out where are we going to do the stone handling. Probably right here. It's just an open space, and it's out of the way. I mean, it would be in the way, blocking that expansion. But as long as we're not using anything in this space, because this needs to be reserved for the belts, I think we're fine. So the first step of this is we need to combine our inputs. We have to get the inputs in here. I think I would prefer this to be down on the lower side. Well, let's go down here. We need to get this ore, or this stone, up through here. Let's make 2 belts. I'm about to run out of belts. Yep. Alright. Taking the plunge. Making 4 stacks and filling it up with iron because we keep running out. It's hard to believe even this expanded setup and we're still running out quite quickly. But trying to think of the best way to do it. Probably to put stone. Yeah, stone's already on the top, so I like to go straight as much as possible. Let's see, let's put this. Is that really necessary? No. Okay. Alright, there's our... That's kind of why I like to run the machines a little bit, so I can visually see what's going to be on that line when they meet. It's a little easier for me to calculate and figure out. Looks like that stone's in the way. How long has that stone been sitting there and I've been ignoring it just because I haven't had to break it? Well, it's also in part because stones drop a bunch of geodes, and I didn't want to overly confuse the game with all these things that we aren't going to use for quite some time, and geodes are way down the line for stuff we're going to use, so I didn't want to deal with it. So inside a junk box it goes. Okay. Let's see. Just gonna have these go down in there and up. Let's see. Yeah, it's like that. Gotta figure out how to stitch these belts together. There we go. Try to do it as cleanly as possible. Okay, that's gonna go across. And we can also have that right there. There we go. Now, is there a slightly better way to do that? Not really. I mean, I could kind of move things around and make it slightly cleaner. I kind of want to place this here just to mark the reserved area, to know that, you know, I can't use any area above this point. Like, this all has to be clear for an expansion. So I think there's value in that. So that looks good. Now, what's next? The pickup spot. We don't have circuits right now, so we can't determine easily, like, we can't automate, do we turn this stuff into bricks or do we store it? Because, like, storing slag would be much better than crushing it. The only reason we're crushing it is because we don't have access to filter inserters. So, in the meantime, we're going to want to have somewhere where we can put this stuff without just turning it into bricks if we don't actually need bricks. And we're going to do that with boxes. Lots and lots of boxes, iron chests. Now, the red inserter operates at the speed of about 1 item per second. So I said in total, we're going to be doing about 6 stone per second and about 12 crushed stone per second in total. So that means we need one inserter and technically 1 chest for each one of those requirements. So if everything has been combined prior to getting here, and this is all just one automated line here, it means we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for that, and a lot more. This might be overkill. It probably is, because this is only going to be this bad if every single machine is running at full power, which would probably be never. But you never know. 1, 2, 3. Oop. So that's 9, right? Let's put him here. 10, 11, 12. Let's smush him. Man, that's crazy. But it's probably will never be that bad. But it might be. At least I've calculated that it's possible that it could be that bad. And since it's possible, we want to prepare for it. So what these are going to do is basically anything that comes down the line, they're just never going to let it move further onto brick making. The only time we'll let it move further is if we need to make bricks. And by that, we can just, you know, close off the chests or switch the inserters around, flip them at 90 degrees to have them put stuff back on the belt. That's about the fastest way that we can do this. So let's cover all these guys. Put some lights. Looking good. After that, we're going to need to assemble the crushed stone into regular stone. So how many assembly machines do we need? Oop, I already had one. The machine runs at 0.5, so half speed, and it makes basically 2 stone per second, so it's only going to be making 1. So one machine can handle 2 crushed stone, which means we're going to need 6 machines to handle 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So where exactly to put them? Yeah, probably just have it come off here. Now 12 stone per second is basically the maximum speed of the belt. The belt can only handle 13.3 items per second, so that's completely maxing out what we potentially have available. So if we ever need this much, it's going to be overkill. I mean, it's overkill unless we need this much, and then we'll be like, yes, I'm glad we had all these machines. But probably not. Probably we'll never need it. But it's better to think ahead than find out at the worst possible time that our setup isn't good enough. And stone is something that you just have a ton of, that you're just constantly dealing with in Angels, like just tons and tons of stone. You just need something to do with all this stone. So we need to have this setup in place. And it would be nice, though, to at least know that if we desperately need bricks now, that if we just don't have them on hand, it would be super easy to make a ton more, because we're going to have that capacity. So since 2 go in and 1 goes out, we should be fine with this 1. Guess I could have made robots do this, but I don't know. It's such a simple setup. It really doesn't take that long to do. And I will combine this. Like here. There we go, and then up. And then the stone comes from earlier. And I will use a splitter to combine that. We're running out of belts again? Wow. Yep. And nothing else. Hungry, hungry, hungry. Okay. We can put the power poles in. Might as well connect that. Can put some lights in here. Yep, now we're just to the smelting part. 22 furnaces. Luckily we already have some on hand. But we need stone, because I put it all in the box. But there should be a ton in here. So that's 10, 20, 22. I did that up, but I don't think there's any reason why I couldn't go down and do the same thing. Because the smelting's going to happen right here, so. Yep, and just the giant line of this. Yeah, so at maximum speed, this would be handling 12 stone about, so about the full capacity of the belt. This is as much as we could really do with this setup. So it's 10. Wait, but we want them 1 space higher, because now we have long inserters, so we can have an output belt. Yeah, 10. Let's do 20. And 22. That's so crazy. There's like no way we're ever going to use that much, but wait. Yeah, it can work as long as it outputs here. I was going to put it right there. I was like, no, I can't. It's going to mess it all up. Okay. And we need lots of inserters. Guess I could have made a robot pattern. Oh well. Okay, so short-handed. Yes, that's going to be in. And then long-handed. Oh, that was nowhere near enough. And the long-handed ins. Now the long-handed outs. Although I'm making these all red, do they need to be red? Actually, I don't think so. Now that I think about it, I think I really just needed the yellow ones. Oops. But now I'm like completely out. Oopsies. We'll use them eventually. It'll be fine. Okay, so start over. Short-handed ins. Long-handed ins. Short-handed or long-handed outs. The short-handed outs. Now we just need coal to get in here. Out of motors. And out of copper. Alright, what's the easiest way to get coal in here? Probably to snake it down through here is my guess. Yeah, the setup looks so like crazy, like that's just so many bricks, but thing is most of the time it's going to be completely dormant. I'm only building this as a ratio for everything else that's in the factory. I'm not really expecting to need this much brick. It's just ratio friendly. Like most of the work is going to be happening up here, with all these things absorbing all the stone into chests for later. I think I'm going to take the easy way out and just loop it. So that's going to be the stone bricks. When I choose what to put in underground belts compared to what gets priority, I try to put like the less important products underground and have like the priority products above ground. Alright, and power. Yeah, right here. And some lights. Alright, there we go. That's stone processing. Now we just need somewhere to store these bricks. And let's see, I did the math on this too, of course I did. Yeah, this is going to end up where we're going to have 6 bricks per second as output, because we're having 12 stone, and a stone, it takes 2 stone for a brick, so that means we're going to need to have a total of 6 inserters. I think I'll use standard chests here. I will limit it to, well, I mean, technically there's going to be a ton of brick stored in each one of these already. So I think I'm going to, it's going to look weird, but I'm going to leave these chests completely red. And then put inserters right here. Now, it looks dumb, but there's a logic behind it. The logic behind this is the same as up here. And that is, if for some reason we're in brick overload, we can have somewhere to put the bricks. Under normal circumstances, the furnaces themselves will hold all the bricks I'll probably ever need. But in the event of brick overload, there's somewhere to put them. Because if this stone gets backed up, if that gets backed up, then everything stops. Because this byproduct has to have somewhere to go. And if our stone gets blocked up, this happens. Or this gets empty. And this happens up here. It's just you have to always be thinking about that stone. What do you do with the stone? Where is the stone going? So by having all of this, it means we have an answer. We have a specific place that all this stone is going to. And this right here is our stone output. And eventually we can connect it all the way over here, down here to the belt. I'm not going to do that quite yet because I want to wait until everything gets cleared out of the way so I can just find a nice clean way. But I imagine it's probably just going to come right beside this belt right here and then come down. It's probably going to be pretty straightforward. But yeah, in the meantime, that's taken care of. So now we can move to the next step. We've got plenty of stone processing, but now we need to work on ingots, which will be the next episode.